Hola, Madalena.
Es mi
¿Qué
primera
tal?
vez.
It's your first
No,
time. Tu primera vez.
on Instagram.
On Instagram Live.
Yes.
Primera vez en Instagram Live. Muy bien. Y
Yes.
primera vez, es
Gracias.
mi primera vez bilingüe. We'll have to do in English and Spanish. We'll see how
Okay.
it goes, okay?
Okay. Yo puedo intentar hablar español, pero que tengo vergüenza.
Tienes vergüenza, pero lo haces súper bien.
No.
Pero la cosa es que la gente, que también te verá mucha gente del Reino Unido. You will also be seen by a lot of people from the UK who just speak English.
Who knows?
So we'll try
Yes.
to do it. Do you listen to
Both.
Both.
Yeah,
We'll try.
can you hear me?
Yes. All
¿Me
good.
puedes escuchar?
Perfecto.
I think this microphone is a bit better, but we can change it if
I think now it's okay. I was hearing a little noise, but now it's okay. Hi, people are listening well? Yes.
Oh, hi Nick. Hello.
Hi, Nick. So, how are you, Madalena? ¿Cómo estás?
Estoy muy bien, gracias.
Sí.
¿Y tú?
Yo muy bien. Aquí en España, hoy ha parado de llover. Today the rain has stopped here, and we are closed from more than a month. Estamos cerrados desde hace más de un mes.
We've been very lucky because, well, I don't know if it's lucky to be honest, but we have been allowed to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
So every day I've been going outside for exercise, and it does make it much easier.
Yeah.
So I feel for you in Spain. I know
Yeah.
it's much stricter.
Yeah, it's much more better. Madalena dice que a ellos les permiten salir, o sea que pueden salir un poquito cada día y claro, es mucho mejor poder salir. Madalena, I listen to a noise. I don't know if you listen to it.
No, but I'm
No sé
going
si
to take
escucháis
this
vosotros
mic off.
también un ruido.
I'm going to take my mic off and see if it's better, okay?
Okay.
Is it any better?
Okay. Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Vosotros
Can you still hear any noise?
Yes. No, I don't hear the noise. Now it's
I'm going to play that later. I'm worried it's going to be too loud on the phone.
No, I think that it will be okay. Creo que estará perfecto.
Okay.
Todo perfecto. So, Madalena, I try to do the question in English and then to translate into Spanish, okay? Intentaré hacer la pregunta en inglés y luego la traduciré.
Okay.
Vale.
Wait, saying something. Is it still buzzing, Nick?
¿Todavía hace ruido?
That's
better. Great.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Madalena, you were on tour with Gloria Stefan's musical On Your Feet, and it suddenly stopped, no? All the shows in England have stopped. How has it felt, this suddenly stop, and how was the show going before? Ahora traduzco, espera, wait. Que estaba Madalena de gira con el musical de Gloria Estefan, On Your Feet, pero claro, como se ha tenido que parar los espectáculos, pues tuvo que parar funciones y le pregunto que, bueno, cómo lo vivió y también cómo estaba funcionando el espectáculo.
Well, up until we had to stop, it was going really well. It was an incredible show to be part of, especially because of the people. I don't think I've ever been in a show with so many different nationalities.
Mm-hmm.
It was very weird for me as well because the week before we stopped the show, I had taken that week off because I had another little job I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
So my venue was in Glasgow.
Mm-hmm.
I was due to go back in a week's time, so obviously I didn't say goodbye to anyone.
It was weird.
Yeah, so the day I was due to come back, on that morning, the producers decided to close the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get to say goodbye, but also my friends didn't have much opportunity to say goodbye either. So it feels like we did a good tour, a good run of it, but it's always weird to leave things unfinished. And because finish in May, we're not going back to it, so that's it, at least for now. Who knows in a few years.
You're not going back? No, after no, you don't know.
Our tour, Our UK tour finishes supposed to finish on the 2nd of May.
Okay. So I try to translate. Okay,
Okay.
I'll try. So, Madalena dice que iba muy bien la gira y que, bueno, que de golpe eso se tuvo que parar, pero que no se pudo despedir de sus compañeros porque ella una semana antes estaba haciendo otras cosas y fue un poco triste y todo como muy de golpe, pero que bueno, y que piensa que no volverá el musical a la gira porque acababa el 2 de mayo. And you were also in the West End with the show, and you work with Gloria Estefan, with Emilio Estefan. How was all the rehearsal process with them, and this kind of different nationalities combination? How did you live all that?
Yeah,
Espera,
very...
wait, le pregunto
Oh,
que,
it's...
sí, que cómo fue un poco los ensayos con Gloria y con Emilio Estefan y con tantas nacionalidades como habían en la compañía. No.
So it was weird because the first time ever I met Gloria and Emilio was at my final audition. So they were present. I didn't do many auditions for them. I know people had met them before, and I walked in and Gloria and Emilio were there, and I had to be her mother. So that was very, very weird for me. And I always thought I wouldn't get the job, and you know, I wasn't quite right. And it ended up being that I did get the job, and I loved it. And the best thing about it was that we had a 6-week rehearsal, and Gloria was with us most of the time. We were rehearsing in Leicester, which is away from London, and it's got an amazing regional theatre, but it's not particularly glamorous. Very funny to see Gloria walking along the streets of Leicester. And she was incredibly generous. She was very generous with her stories, and taking her time to show us pictures of her family, show us really old recordings of her singing when she was like 6, recordings she used to send to her dad when her dad was in the Vietnam War. So it was very special because it's not every day that you get to work with the person who you're sort of telling the story, and it made it sort of like more it made everything was more aware that we were responsible for telling her story and to honor her family. So
I'll try to translate. Madalena dice que fue extraño porque los conoció cuando ella hacía su última prueba, entonces claro, como ella interpreta a la madre de Gloria, pues fue como un encuentro un poco extraño, pero que como durante las 6 semanas de ensayo estuvo Gloria con toda la compañía, pues que estuvo con ellos y que fue muy generosa con toda la compañía, explicándoles también historias de su vida. And Madalena, the show was amazing, and the audience in London loved that, even though it's a salsa music that it's so Latino, no?
Yeah, we were. I mean, I was a little worried. Not that it was my place to be worried, but I was worried just because people didn't know what On Your Feet was. It's not a big name that you hear. And even when it was on Broadway, it wasn't like a name that everyone was talking about of, oh, On Your Feet is coming to town. So we were a little surprised that we were booked to be at the Coliseum, which is the biggest theater in the West End. And it was funny. It was all word of mouth. Like every day we had more and more people coming, and we were filling the theater. And, you know, I know a lot of jukebox musical, everyone like gets up in the end and dances, but I have to say, I've never seen an audience so spontaneously and willingly to dance. So, no, the show touches on very important themes, you know, about family, about belonging, about like serious stuff. You know, she had a hard life, but the music is so uplifting, and it's totally their tool to get through life and to get to people's hearts and to inspire. So I think luckily we did manage to do that to the audience. It was really good fun, and for me it was a surprise. I've been doing very dramatic shows for many years, so it was a breath of fresh air to do something that people were so uplifted when they left.
Le preguntaba a Madalena que, bueno, el espectáculo estuvo durante unos meses en Londres, en el Teatro Coliseum, y que realmente funcionó muy bien de público y la gente reaccionaba súper bien poniéndose en pie al final, porque la música salsa es muy latino, pero los ingleses lo adoraron. Y nos explica pues que sí, que aunque a ella al principio le sorprendió, porque realmente no era un espectáculo que a priori los londinenses pudieran sentirse atraídos por él, pues funcionó mucho el boca a oreja y la gente se acaba enamorando de él, y porque también habla de cosas muy importantes como la familia, como el pertenecer a alguien, y toca mucho las emociones, y bueno, y que la música es una herramienta con la que siempre conectar, y fue una gran sorpresa. That's the thing. Madalena, these days that we have stopped to do everything, to work, we have nothing to do, we have more time to be with ourselves. Are like the perfect time, like to look behind and to think about what we've get and how we are now. And have you used your time or think about all the things that you've get in all these years? Have you ever thought about yourself like 15 years ago and think about what did that girl would think about Madalena today?
I don't know if I thought that way around. I've been thinking a lot about stuff that I wish I was doing. But that doesn't help either. So
no.
No, it has been a time of reflecting a lot. And one of the things that I've been I'll go back to your question. One of the things I've been a plan B, okay? What if theaters are not going to open till the end of the year? Who knows about next year? What if theaters wouldn't open? What would I do? And I mean, we've been here for many weeks, like you have, and I can't come up with an answer. The moment this is what I do, and I really wish really hard to be a benefit to people, and I have to find other ways of doing it other than just, being on a stage, doing a show, performing. But I do look back and I think more and more, because the years go by and there's new generations of people who are wanting to do it. I have a lot of people from Portugal who sometimes contact me and they want to come to London. And when I first came to London, I didn't know anyone else doing it. Anyone else Portuguese, and then a few started coming over, and then it started to be more and more people are loving it, and so they look up to me, and I find that really up to me, like to what I've been doing. So that's when I realized, oh yeah, I've done a lot. I've done a lot of shows. I've done more than 20 productions, definitely, and would I imagine myself doing this when I was a kid? No, because I didn't know I could sing. I think when I was a little kid, maybe when I was 6, I always dreamt of being an actress. But we didn't have musicals in Portugal, so I was more geared towards the film and the TV and things like that. Those were sort of my role models and my heroes. So I just feel like I've been swept under this wave of circumstances, and I'm here doing what I'm doing. And I don't know, also I feel like after you do it for a long time, so I've been doing it for, I don't want to say it, maybe 15 years. You also start thinking about, what else can I do with it? So So we'll see. We'll see what will come up until I'm sure we won't have much work at all until the end of the year. Although I have had a few auditions that you need to film and then send it over. So who knows?
Ok. Le preguntaba a Madalena que en estos días, bueno, es un buen momento para reflexionar sobre su vida, sobre la vida, sobre lo que hemos sido y cómo se imaginaba su yo de hace 15 años al yo de hoy en día y si alguna vez se hubiera imaginado haber conseguido todo lo que ha logrado. Y bueno, dice primero que en estos días de reflexión básicamente ha estado pensando que realmente qué va a pasar, ¿no?, con el mundo del teatro, si se volverán a hacer funciones, si no, si habrá un plan B, poder dedicarse, si habría otras maneras de ser útil para la sociedad. Y bueno, y también respecto a la pregunta concreta que le realizaba, que dice que mucha gente de su país joven la toma como ejemplo y que nunca se hubiera imaginado eso, ¿no? El que pudiera ser un ejemplo para otras personas y porque ella cuando era joven tampoco sabía que cantaba, siempre que soñaba con ser actriz, pero nunca se hubiera imaginado protagonizando musicales en el West End. And by the way, Madalena, you're going to do EVITA or EVITA in Portugal.
Well, we'll see. But yes, I'm doing, it's a concert version, so it's a semi-staged. It's not a full sort of staged. So we are announcing 2 dates. They're in October. October 10th will be in Porto, in Portugal. October 17th will be in Lisbon, but it's in big arenas, huge arenas. So it will be a very new experience for me. So the arena in Lisbon is like the O2.
Wow, it's huge.
Which I've been there, but not as like, I've performed there, but as one of many. So here will be a little different. So I'm excited. I'm excited to not only to go back to the score and see if I can still do it, but also to do it in Portugal. I haven't really performed in Portugal. I've done maybe a couple of small, very intimate little concerts. You were there.
Yeah, but you also were at the Coliseum in
I did. We did too.
Okay.
So this is bigger than the Coliseum.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm excited about it.
Bueno, le comentaba que Madalena va a volver a ponerse en la piel de Eva Perón en octubre, si todo va bien, porque según se ha anunciado, el 10 de octubre y el 10 de octubre en Oporto y el 17 de octubre en Lisboa se realizarán 2 conciertos semi-escenificados de EVITA y ella los protagonizará. Y se harán en grandes estadios. How much people will you...
I'm not sure. I think is up to 5,000. The other one
5,000 personas. EVITA was one of your greatest roles.
Thank you.
It's one of the roles that was harder for you.
Yes, definitely.
It
is funny though, because I always think, oh, there's nothing as hard as that, right? But for example, using On Your Feet as an example, vocally it was quite comfortable for me. The range was it was low songs. I wasn't on stage all the time. So you're like, oh, that's easy. But doing 8 shows a week, regardless what you're doing, it's very, very taxing in every level. The thing about it is that vocally, it is very sort of like a roller coaster. And so you worried all the time. Like you go to bed and you're worried about how you're going to wake up in the morning. And you wake up in the morning and you're like, can I do the show today? So it feels like it is a 24-hour a day show. And when I've done it, I don't have a life. I don't speak during the day. So it's a very big commitment.
Very demanding, no?
Yeah, and then the actual role, because she is on stage most of the time, and you're telling the story of someone between 15 until she's like dies at 33. Then it becomes very, very emotionally taxing as well, and then physically and blah. So yeah, so it was great. I did it the first time in 2013, and then I had like a 3-year break doing something else, and then I did it again. And it was amazing to do it 3 years later and see how much I had changed. My voice had changed. And yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in October.
Maybe you feel like more relaxed.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think the thing about just doing a couple of concerts is that the pressure is on. Like,
yeah.
Like everything you have, nothing can go wrong. It feels like it's now or you're gonna die. So we'll see how that experience.
It will go perfect. And once it's done, it's over. So you don't have to worry. And it's not like every show, a week show. It's like just one day and you can forget about that. Le preguntaba a Madalena como si Evita era el personaje más difícil que había hecho y me decía que sí, porque vocalmente ha sido el más complicado y también emocionalmente hablando era el más complicado. Entonces le suponía una preparación a todos los niveles durante todo el día, porque solo estaba preocupada por poder encontrarse bien para poder salir al escenario y hacer la función. Pero que bueno, que lo disfrutó mucho.
George, I don't know if you're still here, but I saw you coming in. Miss you.
How were one of your friends?
George played Emilio in On Your Feet.
Great. So, talking about your career, it's been like quite full of synchronicities since the very beginning. No?
You would know, you.
Huh?
You know, because you were there almost from the beginning.
Yeah, I know. That's why I tell you, because it's quite amazing to know how has everything turned. And now from the time you can see how everything has fallen into place. No, but it's amazing. Like the very beginning when you were in Lisbon and you were called to go to study to London.
Yeah.
Since you get Fantine, you get Piaf, you get EVITA, it's like, what was the most surprising thing that happened?
Well, I'm not sure what was surprising. I think the thing that started everything was I was scouted in Portugal without knowing that was a possibility. So I was in a little school, I did it as a hobby, and I was in normal school, I was doing biology and chemistry and psychology, and I knew I wanted to be an actress, but I was too shy. So I don't know what I've done, to be honest. But the principal of a college from England came over to my little dance school to do a workshop, and at the end of the week, she spoke to my parents and she was like, we wanted to come back with us. So it's something that happened to me. I'm incredibly grateful, and I'm still very grateful to this lady, Sue Passmore, to have done that. And then after that, I honestly think there's a lot of luck, but there was also a lot of persistence. There was many times where I felt like I couldn't do it. Like, you never know when your next job is going to come. There were many times where I'd be months and months without work. So that's why maybe now, not knowing what will happen, we're kind of used to, some actors are kind of used to that, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then as you said, a lot of the jobs I got, the bigger ones, were by chance. Like Les Mis, for example, when I played Fantine, I didn't know they were auditioning for that. I didn't get any auditions for that. And I went to audition for Oliver, which is weird for me because you have to do a Cockney accent, which is like a London accent, which I do. And so I was like, oh, this is a waste of time. And I went there, and luckily it was the same director and the same casting director of Les Mis. So straight away, they're like, we want to see her for Fantine. And a week later, I got the job. So there have been a lot of things like that, but also a lot of times where nothing happens or you feel so I don't know, I guess balance.
It's the magic of life, no? It's like,
I don't know, maybe from your point of view.
Yeah.
course. There have been moments where I've been very lucky, and I'm very grateful for that, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I try to translate everything. Le preguntaba a Madalena que su carrera ha estado llena de sincronicidades desde el principio. Porque, bueno, y luego cuál era la más sorprendente. Y bueno, dice que sí, que han sido, bueno, que cosas que han pasado como por casualidad o por suerte, como desde al principio, cuando ella estaba en Lisboa estudiando, vino una persona de una escuela de Londres a buscar a gente y nada más verla a ella le dijo, te vienes conmigo. Y se fue y empezó allí a estudiar en el Berklee College de Londres y fue lo que le hizo iniciar allí la carrera. O como cuando consiguió el personaje de Fantine en Los Miserables, ella no iba a esa audición, ella iba a audicionar para Oliver, que ella no se veía allí, pero bueno, hizo la audición y justo estaban las personas, los responsables de casting de Los Miserables y bueno, la cogieron y tal. Pero bueno, ella dice más que también que hay otras veces que no ha tenido tanta suerte, que hay veces que está parada y que esta época para ella tampoco es tan extraña porque los actores muchas veces se encuentran así, entre trabajo y trabajo pasan semanas, meses o incluso años sin hacer nada y entonces, bueno, que tampoco es como tan especial o tan diferente para ella en este sentido, ¿no? Kind of. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Okay. And Madalena, I have to say that one of the roles that I must love of you on the stage, it's been Lucy and Jekyll and Hyde from Jekyll and Hyde. I don't know how do you remember that show? It was in a little theater, the Union Theater, but it was like an amazing production, and I think you were amazing there.
Thank you. No, I remember it very well. I feel like it was a stepping stone. I don't know why. I did that after I did Limit. And it was, like you said, it was at the Union Theater, which for people who don't know, in Spain and Portugal, it's a very, very small venue with only about 70 people in the audience, and there's no microphones. We had no backstage because during the whole show we had to hide behind the set, like against the wall. Yeah, and you basically make no money. You paid to work and to do it. But I worked with this wonderful team of people. Luke Fredericks directed it, and he was very, very clever at coming up with a concept of a new way of doing the show. And Jekyll and Hyde is usually done in a Victorian time, and we did it all in contemporary time with iPads. And so my Lucy didn't have to be Cockney; she could have my weird
your accent.
And it was very gruesome. But I think not only I learned so much we call it fringe theater when you work in these small theaters. I learned so much from it, because when you're in small theaters you can't hide. Like I was surprised that people would see that I was faking it, so I had to do it. I don't know how to describe. Actually, one of my last shows when I did On Your Feet, one of my wonderful friends, Laura, she made a comment about that. She was like, well, how come you do this every day? And I said, because I'm scared of the audience. I'm scared that they see that I'm faking it. But I think this comes from working in very, very intimate spaces. So Jekyll and Hyde, I think for me was a stepping stone, because we had a very big reviewer at the time, still is, wonderful Mark, who came and he did a big thing, wrote something, and that's when I felt things had changed, and that I belonged to the community, I think. So I would love to do that again.
Yeah, that was great. I'll try to translate now. Le preguntaba a Madalena, bueno, le comentaba que yo creo que para mí uno de los personajes mejores o, bueno, más espectaculares que para mí ha hecho ha sido el de Lucy en Jekyll and Hyde. Y bueno, me cuenta que que para ella fue un personaje muy importante, que fue marcó un punto de inflexión en su carrera, aunque se hacía en un teatro súper pequeño, que tenía de Londres, que tiene una capacidad para 70 personas, pero que el director trasladó la acción de Jekyll and Hyde de la época victoriana a la época moderna, y que la producción estaba muy cuidada por el director, que era Luke Fredericks, y bueno, que el hecho de trabajar en un espacio tan pequeño, bueno, hacía que no se pudiera esconder del público, con lo cual tenía bueno, que se veía todo, con lo cual le hizo aprender mucho, y también recibió muy buenas críticas de un crítico londinense que hay ahí, que se llama Mark Shenton, bueno, que le hizo sentir que pertenecía a la comunidad del teatro musical de Londres, en la que sigue perteneciendo. And Madalena, you've worked with amazing people of that musical theatre community in London and in the world, such as Andrew Lloyd Webber, Claude Michel Schoenberg, and performers like Marty Pillow, John Wayne Jones. What have you learned from the people you have worked with? Is there anyone that has been especially important for you?
Oh, that's a really tough question.
Mm-hmm.
I think because, without wanting to sound, I think most people that I've worked with, there's always one or two people in one job that you sort of try to look up to. And I learned a lot from them. The people that you mentioned, like John Wayne Jones, I learned a lot from him, from his resilience, from how consistent it was in every show, with an insane vocal. And this was when we did Les Mis. Marty Pello, for example, I also learned from him of his discipline and of his constant hard work. And then you also learn a lot by people that you see doing things that you know you don't want to go on that route.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll share that my first ever job, I was in the chorus and I was doing Aladdin, a pantomime, a Christmas show at the Old Vic, and I was working with very big names, Ian McKellen, Roger Allen, people like that. And oh, maybe I shouldn't say this. No, it's fine. Anyway, no, I'm sure none of them will watch it. But I'm going to say that some people that I was working with were the opposite of inspiring. And it was my first job. They were very moody. They were complaining about everything, complaining about the costumes, complaining about the choreography. And I knew that's not what I wanted to be. So I would spend the whole show always watching in the wings and watching the actors. And so I can't, like, all of a sudden, I can't think of one person that inspires me. And I'm sure there are. Yeah, it was just so many people I've worked with. Very fortunate. And then you do, that's how you learn and that's how you mature. Also, like the way you deal with your producers and with your sound engineers or with your musical directors, like all of it is like you use it as tools. Hi, Lucas.
Hi.
Marisol is going to speak in Spanish. Don't go away.
Yes, just a little bit. I'm going to translate what Madalena have just said. Le preguntaba a Madalena que ha trabajado con gente muy, muy importante de la comunidad del teatro musical en el Londres y también en el mundo, como Andrew Lloyd Webber, Claude Michel Schoenberg, he goes. Y también con actores como Marty Pillow o John Wayne Jones.
It's not Pillow, it's Pillow.
Pillow, bueno, perdón. Yeah, sorry about that. Y que he aprendido de ellos y que si hay alguien que le haya enseñado más especialmente. Entonces ella me comenta que bueno, que ha aprendido mucho de los que he nombrado, de John Wayne Jones y de Marty Pillow, la resiliencia a trabajar duro, a ser constante, pero que luego hay otras ocasiones que cuando trabajaba en una pantomima al principio de su carrera, que sí que veía cosas que no le gustaban, entonces que ella se alejaba un poco de eso, ¿no? Del cotilleo, de las críticas y tal, y que ella intentaba pues verlo todo desde otro lado. And Madalena, it's very hard to, it's really, can it be possible to make friendships in the London actors community, or there's a lot of,
Yeah, I've got many friends.
mhm,
What I think it tends to happen, and I don't know if this happens to everyone, but I think in each job you do, each show you do, you come out with one good friend. And actually, Lucas Rush is here, and he's my one good friend from one of the first shows I did, which was Fame. We did Fame together. It doesn't mean that you're not friendly with other people or that you're not in touch with other people, but there is always one that sticks with you. I have to be honest, I think especially nowadays there's such wonderful communities of actors and musical theater people, Facebook groups. I don't know why. I think I'm a bit shy and I'm not that into the social media as much as other people are. So I'm sure I could be more part of it. I'm sure that there's definitely that openness. There's definitely a lot of groups that want to be of benefit. They want to create things. They want to do things. But for some reason, I think I'm slightly more private than some of them. But I still have so many wonderful friends. I don't know if George is still here. I saw Francesca coming in as well. Like, it's just people that you know, even if you don't speak to them all every day. Or
they keep forever.
And it's funny. I really noticed with this latest job that when I was younger, when I started the job, and also I'm Portuguese, I'm very emotional. So I used to cry so much every time a show finished. Like you get depressed. It's called the post-show blues. But I think because then you do so many shows, and I've done a lot of shorter contracts and stuff. So it's not that I'm immune to it. Of course, I'm sad, but you just get on with it, and you know there's a few people that you're going to be in touch with, and then you just move on to something else. So
yeah,
it's
you learn from all that, no? You learn from the experience before, and it's different. Vale, I translate. Le preguntaba a Madalena que si en la comunidad entre los actores era difícil hacer amigos, si había mucha competitividad entre ellos. Y me decía que realmente no, bueno, que ella tampoco es que se relacione mucho con la gente porque es de otra manera, pero que de cada espectáculo pues tiene uno o dos amigos, por ejemplo Lucas Rush, que es uno de sus amigos que lo conoció en Fama, y que antes se acostumbraba a poner muy triste cuando acababan las representaciones de un espectáculo, pero ahora ya lo lleva de otra manera. And Madalena, now we are getting a little bit late, just the last questions. It's about your music. You also write your own songs. And what do you like the most about singing the songs you write? And although there's a lot of time since
that's the thing. You've known me for many years, and when we first met, I was a prolific time where I was writing a lot, and I was going to pubs in Camden Town and play my guitar, and I used to write loads. And since the first time I played EVITA, that kind of died down, and I haven't played my guitar much, and it's always something that you go like, oh, when I have time I'll do that. When I go on tour and I have time, I will do that. And it just hasn't really come naturally to me since. I'm hoping that the rest of this lockdown will be more creative in that way. But it's funny how people change, and like I'm becoming creative in other ways, and there's other things that give me a lot of excitement. Like I'm translating a children's book at the moment, which but yeah, so I haven't played in a long time.
But let me translate. Le decía que ella también escribe sus propias canciones y bueno, cómo lo lleva todo esto, y dice que hace mucho que que no escribe, que al principio, bueno, cuando nos conocimos, es cierto que ella tocaba en varios pubs de Londres, pero desde que empezó a hacer Evita, pues como que lo ha dejado un poco más y se está dedicando a otros temas, como ahora que está traduciendo un libro de infantil. And now, Madalena, I'm going to ask you to end this
Okay.
lovely interview with a song of
Okay.
yours because I love that and I think people will love it and
I have to say,
you have
I'm
to
only
say.
because I love you.
Thank you.
Do it, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I've got my guitar here.
Go. Ah, you
I
have to get, yeah. So,
hopefully it's tuned. Now, I'm a bit worried that it will be distorted because I'm not used to doing this. I don't know if it'll be a bit distorted on the microphone and
okay.
on the thing.
I think
I
it will
want
sound good.
plugged in properly. Let me just try very quickly. I know we have to go.
Okay.
Is it?
Is this buzzing?
No,
Is it buzzing like it was before?
no, it's not.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Can you hear that well?
Now it's buzzing.
Then we'll do it without. Okay,
Yeah.
I apologize if it sounds terrible, especially. So this was Marisol's request.
Okay, thank you.
How jealous am I of the lash in your eye, of the hat that you wear, of the brush in your hair. How jealous am I of the shower you sing to, of the soap that you use, of the perfume you choose. How jealous am I when you don't realize that I love to get lost in your eyes. How jealous am I of the cigar in your mouth, of the fruit that you eat, of the wine that you sip. How jealous am I of the pillow you lay on, of your dreams of night, of the first morning light. How jealous am I when my heart starts to see that the smile that you gave was for her and not me. Will you remember my name when you see me again? Or will you ignore my face as you did back then? When you vanish once more and stop talking to me, I know where to go and how long it will be. And when down the road just someone else's sweat, I'm jealous of the first day we met. Here we go. Ese hombre que tú ves ahí, que aparenta ser divino, tan afable y efusivo, solo sabe hacer sufrir. Es un gran necio, un estúpido engreído, egoísta, caprichoso, un payaso vanidoso, inconsciente y presumido, falso, enano, rencoroso, y no tiene corazón, lleno de celos, sin razones ni motivos, con el vientre impetuoso, pocas veces cariñoso, inseguro de sí mismo, soportable como amigo, insufrible of the soap that you use, of the perfume you choose, of the fruit that you eat, of the wine that you sip, of your dreams at night, of the first morning light, of the way that you love and kisses I sing, of the sound of your voice and the joy that you bring. And when I'm rolled in someone else's sweat, I'm jealous of the first day we met.
Woo! Bravo, Madalena. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for singing us this beautiful song.
Gloria.
Hi, Sonia, and thank you for bringing love, music, and joy to these days from London. And
Gracias por invitarme.
I love you too.
Thank you so much to you, to Sonia. You've been supporting me for so many years, and I'm incredibly grateful. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Have a great time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you for watching.